Before I get into this next episode of Claude on Record, I just want to give a quick shout out to Eric Bustos, Shelby, Donovan, and Eric Super Lazy. Yes, that is his username, for their insightful comments on the past episodes. Not only do I appreciate this, because I really do, guys, I really appreciate it, I honestly believe that sometimes these comments contain more wisdom than the post itself. And this is kind of what happened that makes it so that this episode, this third one, is my last one on Instagram, and I will be moving it to YouTube. But we'll talk about that a little bit more as I go along this episode. What I'm going to talk about today is the idea of creative time versus world time. This is really what this is about. It's been talked about in many forms, such as creativity versus job, creative balance, normal life versus madness, etc. And before I get into it, I'm going to tell you that 10 minutes on Instagram is not enough time to talk about this stuff. I feel that there's more to say, So I'm going to move the podcast to YouTube from now on and keep my Instagram feed for other creative things. Before you say, thank goodness, or what the fuck, man, after 3 episodes you're giving up, listen close. I'm not giving up. It's just that every form of social media has a time and a function, and time and function is important. This is a concept that I'm sort of coming up with on my own here. I'm not interested in keeping 30 channels of social. In fact, I've even toyed with the idea of leaving Twitter. Why? Because of time and function, this concept I'm going to talk about. In terms of social media and being a creative, time and function is simply this. It's how much time you should devote to a given platform versus function as the goal or the results that you expect from the time you put in. As a creator, my need to create outweighs my need to promote, but it's a necessary evil. And senseless posts and pleas of download the new single right now or go buy my digital art, that's not the kind of stuff that I want to post. It's not me, and I tend to hate that kind of stuff. And yet, it is important to promote what you do, right? Maybe it is for you, maybe it isn't. Maybe you don't give a fuck. Maybe I don't give a fuck. The whole world doesn't give a fuck, but that's a different conversation. Now, if you think I'm going to spit out the perfect answer to this dilemma of time and function, I'm sorry, I don't have it. What I do have is my own intuition to make decisions. For better or worse, I'm an action taker. If I take the wrong action, I just take another action. I try never to overthink things, although honestly, overthinking is how I create, and I'm sure it's how you create too. So we're talking about a contradiction, right? Maybe, but as it is, I am taking a firm action, which is important. Think about it. You need to take action. That's more important than overthinking it. I've had friends who have had websites for 5 years that they're working on, and they're still working on it. It's not perfect. It's not right. And you know what? It's easy to fall into that trap. But then they get mad when someone comes along and makes a website in 3 days and it looks like crap, but they're like, oh my God, they're talking about the stuff I wanted to talk about. They're putting out the art that I wanted to put out. And it's simply the idea that that person got an idea, took action, executed that action. And that's it. And then they're going for it. They're not just saying to themselves, I'm going to work on this for a year and then I'm going to see what happens, which is, by the way, I found that out recently, that those are actually really hateful words. Do not use the words, let's see what happens, because it means that, you're doing all this hard work with your art and then you're just basically devaluing it. So anyway, I'm digressing. So here's my current social platforms, why I use them, and why I'm going to keep or possibly get rid of them. Facebook. I have a nice following on Facebook, and it's continued growing quite a bit. And no, I don't think Facebook's quite dead yet. It's got several business functions that work really well, and I can use those functions to promote art on Instagram and music on Instagram. So it's not a terrible thing. So if you're running a business or you're an artist and you're trying to really learn how to, use the system for what it is, I still think Facebook has quite a bit of life in it. And I do still use it to keep in touch with my friends all over the world, and I think it's a better announcement tool for things that are coming up in news than Twitter. YouTube is my MTV, my everything, honestly, and I love it. I love watching videos, I love learning, and I keep forgetting that I should be making more videos. Just music videos, never mind anything else. Don't ask me why I don't. That's a separate subject. But again, it goes down to time and function. My reasoning, my quick reasoning and quick action taking is that by posting my podcast on YouTube, I will be reminded to make more videos. Somehow this makes sense to me. It's a way of still giving back. I can still have people subscribe, but I can make longer videos, or I can just be completely invisible and talk to myself, and nobody will know, and they'll just think I'm crazy. And they do anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I had neglected Instagram for a long time, and for my visual art and updating people on my daily life, Instagram just seems easier, more fun. So I don't want to clutter it up with podcasts and then post about albums and then post about art. I want to try to keep nothing but music and art on my Instagram. That's really what I want to focus on. Let the work speak for itself mostly. And of course, I use it a little bit as a microblog. Twitter used to be my announcement tool, and I also used it as a sort of microblog. Then, of course, I also have my blog, and I decided to microblog on Instagram because I love the way it works. So, how do I circumvent all this? I'm not sure. You know, how many channels can I have and still make time to visit the other worlds where logic, reason, color, time, and enlightenment are always in a constant state of flux? In other words, when do I do the real work, which is painting, recording, drawing? That's an answer that I do have. You give up the sources that take up too much time versus their functions. And in this case, I've seriously toyed with the idea of getting rid of Twitter because since I'm really using it mostly as an announcement tool, I don't know. Is it viable? Should I stay on it? Let me know. Let me know what you think about Twitter in general, but actually tell me if you think that what I do there is valuable, or how can I be more valuable on it, because I'm not sure. Maybe I can just use Twitter to just post like, I just saw this cool video, and then that's the end of that. Because I do love doing that. I love sharing information. So I guess for that kind of thing, it could be useful. But like I said, Facebook is normally my announcement tool, and it works really well. So I'm wondering, should I stay on Twitter? So, should I keep my YouTube for videos and podcasts while Instagram is my daily post of art and music? Should I stop writing blogs? Am I going fucking nuts? Let me know your comments below. And if you want to keep listening to these podcasts, you will have to subscribe to my Anything Box channel on YouTube. That's youtube.com/anythingbox. And you'll keep listening to these podcasts, which I hope will get better and better. Before I go, I want it to be clear that I will still post videos on Instagram, but I think that these will reflect the work I'm doing and hopefully take you along on my journey of life and my ultimate pursuit of making the world better through music, art, and anything else the universe decides to create through me. So on that note, I will let you go, but I do have a little announcement to make. I am working on something super hyper cool that will be, I think, dropped by next week. I will make a big announcement about the art stuff, and you're going to see a lot more art on Instagram. And I really hope that you guys will interact and ask questions. In the future, I really am planning to do some Facebook Live things where you guys get to call in and actually talk to me on the phone and I answer your questions. That's something I'm really thinking about. Let me know what you think about all of this and everything we talked about today. And shoot the shit with me, man. Reach out, comment, ask questions, and I will definitely answer them. Thank you so much. Cheers, and I'll see you on YouTube.